Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint.com is now TradingCardMint.com. Please check out their selection of over 20,000 cards with prices cheaper than TCG Player.
Oh boy, not a Hamskay standard deck. Oh wait, no Hamskay here. So what is up, guys? I'm We're going to be profiling our test run for Great Nature. We actually picked up a list off of the OCG side that we started testing. I wanted to get my thoughts on this, kind of look at a couple of things here. I do know that I do want to test the Hamskay build from Worlds. The deck seems really fun, but the deck is fucking cheesy. Let's call it what it is. There's a lot of cheese to be had with that deck, and I don't know if I'm good enough to cheese my opponents in the way that that deck needs to be played. So yes, there's consideration for that. Now, if you guys need cards, our friends at TradingCardMint.com, we have a code, MCOL40, if you guys know how to spell that. You can check them out. You guys should remember Yu-Gi-Oh! They're now Trading Card Mint from way back in the day. Like I said, if you guys enter MCOL40, you can save a little bit of money over there as well. And also, if you like the playmat in this video, you guys should check out our friends at Zero Damage Playmats as well. You can pick up fantastic selection of mats over there as well, and I mean, everything is widely available. So, as an Accel deck, this deck is kind of interesting. They did a lot for New Great Nature, and by a lot, they did a little bit. They gave this deck toolboxing and unguardable, and little cute things like that. And personally, I'm shocked that they did this. So, as an Accel clan, you're going to be throwing down as many markers as you can in the front row, and just smiling at your opponent as you're beating them down mercilessly. So, the key card in the deck is the old school Hunter Leopold. So, if you have a grade 3 in your soul, this unit's auto abilities will activate twice. So that's very important. If you ride this on top of a grade 3, you did it. So when placed, you mill the top card of your deck into the drop zone, and then perform one of the following abilities based on the effect of the card. So if you do a normal unit, you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and call up to 2 grade 2 or less cards from among them to your guard. And if it's trigger unit, you need to buff Leo up 1,500, and this dumbass gets a crit. I don't necessarily know if you want to mill trigger units with this, because you just want to mill regular units and then perform call friends. Actually, the fact that this deck gets the ability to call out resources is what makes this crazy. And the fact that if you have the grade soul, or grade 3 in soul already, you get to just reperform the action again. It's free. And this is actually not your first preferred ride. This is our first preferred ride, but we'll get to that in a second. But yes, Leopold pressuring the opponent, getting free resources is actually why this card is great. It's kind of a shame that he's only on ride perform X actions, because kind of after the first turn you don't get anything else from this card. This card just kind of turns into a vanilla at that point, but I understand the fact that they had to structurally make this card the way that they did, because if you gave it like an on-attack mill perform the action, this card would be busted. But the fact that it's auto also kind of helps for premium format as well, because when you want to stride on top of it, you know, you'll get to access the effects of this card. So yeah, very good card for the headliner for Great Nature. One of the best things. Now, this is actually where you want to be on your first ride. So, standard on ride, open Accel circle. So when this guy attacks, counter blast 1, and one of your other rear guards will get plus 5k power. And then if this is on Vanguard, you get to stand one of your other friends. I can't tell you how many times this little guy scares the shit out of me, because he'll start pressuring me into making bad decisions. Especially if you've got the stupid geograph on the other circle that's already getting 8k for being on an Accel circle, and then to top things off, you know, this guy will restand that. I love watching big beaters, and especially, like I said, with this guy on the Accel circle getting an extra 8k being 17, and then getting 10k from the circle as well. Oh my god, it's a train wreck. I love 27,000 just hitting me upside the face for no real reason. But yes, this guy is such an aggressor. Yay, restanders. You would think that this would not be that good, but it actually is insane for the power that it grants. Now, we do get good old Binoculus Tiger back, and this card is stupid good. So when it attacks a Vanguard, you counterblast one, mill the top card of your deck. If it's a normal unit, you get to draw a card, and if it's a trigger unit, you get to choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and 3 of your units in the front row are going to get 5k. So I get 2 options. I get to draw a fucking free card, or I get to kill something of my opponent's, and to top things off, you know, boost everything else again. Why'd you make this for Great Nature? This seems like a clone for another deck that somebody needed. But okay, killing an interceptor before your opponent can intercept it with it because it's on attack. Yeah, I can understand why this card is good. Thanks, Great Nature. Once again, like, they kind of made it RNG based, but I understand why you had to do that for Great Nature. So there is that. Great new support. Now, we play 3 copies of the Barcode Zebra. I'm not a super big fan of this, but when a card is put into your drop zone from your deck, this guy is going to get 5k. So you mill like 3 cards in a turn, or if you have this already face up on the field, when your friend Leopold comes in, you mill 2. If you have Binoculus, this guy can get super huge for no real reason. That's why you're playing him. Just huge problems for your opponent to deal with. Now I hate this card. This card gives me anxiety. So you have this on a rear guard circle. Okay, cool. So it gets 10k off of the circle, so it's 19. And if he's on an additional rear guard circle, he gets another 8k. So he's 27,000 by himself. And every time I stare at this, I'm just like, oh, this is going to be the death of me. This card is insanely powerful for what it actually does for the deck. This deck needed huge beaters. Well, it certainly got them, all wrapped up in a beautiful panda. Now, our last grade 2 is actually Mr. Toolbox Walby, and it's just literally when this card intercepts, it's going to get 10k shield until the end of the battle. Great Nature kind of needed something like this. I like this. 15k interceptor, and I mean, it puts a threat on the board. If you have this on an interceptor circle, your opponent's got to target it, or you're going to get a free 25,000 shield for no real reason. And I'm not in the mood to give my opponent free existential value. I know some other people are, but his purpose in life is to take blows. Now, we do play 4 copies of probably one of the best cards in the deck. So, when this boost or attacks, you Soul Blast 1, put the top card of your deck into the drop zone and perform the following action. So it's a normal unit, your opponent cannot call Sentinels from his or her hand for that battle. Or if it's a trigger unit, your opponent can only call triggers from his or her hand to guard that battle. If you start getting crazy stuff of bigger, you know, Barcode Zebra getting those huge boosts and things like that, and you call this down, congratulations. You get to punish your opponent, once again, for no real reason, but it's all RNG luck based. So, congratulations. I like my opponent only being able to guard with triggers. Now, we play 4 copies of our friend here. This card is actually really good. So when a card is put into your drop zone once per turn, you can counterblast 1, add said card back to your hand. And only 1 card can be returned. So, interesting to note, if multiple cards are put in the drop zone, you can only return 1. They were preventing a mistake from that with their wording. So there's that. Now, we do play 4 copies of this guy. I actually really like this guy. So, if this unit's in the back row, this guy gets 4k. So, I heard you guys like 12k boosters for no reason. Slam this behind a Vanguard, mill double trigger, watch the large numbers come in. So, there is that. Now, triggers and things, we do start with the draw 1 starter. Triggers, we are on 8 criticals, just because you want to make sure that you can massively pressure your opponent in end games, as is Great Nature fashion. We are playing 4 copies of the draw trigger, and 4 copies of the heal trigger. Kind of standard, actually. I do like what this deck can do it. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, we're going to test the Hamscape build, but this is kind of where we were for the beginning, just to kind of test things. So guys, please check out our friends at tradingcardmint.com down below in the description. Enter MCool40 on checkout, save a little bit of money. That's what you guys are here for, right? And 0 damage playmats as well. Alright guys, I'm out. Peace.